Hello, welcome to Lunar Bird Book Club. Hi, so this is my January reading diary. Rachel and I have both decided that we're going to try and keep video reading journals for every month this year and upload them separately on Friday and Saturday at the beginning of each month, recapping the previous month. We just thought it'd be a fun thing to do. Today is the 6th of January, and because the sun has finally come out, I thought I'd do a little bit of vlogging in the garden. So the lighting is perhaps a little bit intense in places because it's in the middle of the afternoon now and the sun's quite low in the sky, but we'll go with it. So what I'm currently reading at the moment, and what I've been reading since the beginning of January, is Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings. Rachel has lent me this to see how I get along with the Stormlight archives. So I began this just before New Year's Eve. I am about halfway through, I think, now. I think I'm really enjoying it now. I think the first 100 pages were hard to get into because I always feel like with a fantasy novel, there's a lot of world building. You've got to orient yourself in a new place, in a new world, with a new magic system, and that always takes a bit of time. But once I got past that, I found that there's a really compelling story in here. It's my first time reading Brandon Sanderson's work on his own. I've read The Wheel of Time, but I've never read any of his own complete creations. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm particularly invested in the storyline of Kaladin and the bridge cruise. Yeah, I'm finding that really fascinating, and I can't wait to find out what happens next. So that's my current read. Then today, as a family, we've been to Manchester. We've had a little shopping trip, which was really nice, and we just got back home. And I really wasn't planning on buying any books because I've got a lot of books for Christmas that I need to read. In fact, we did a Christmas gift haul video at the beginning of the month. So you can go back and see how substantial that is. So I really shouldn't be buying books, but I found in Forbidden Planet, of all places, this by Tolkien. So it's Tree and Leaf by Tolkien, and it's got a few of his other essays and I think poems as well in here. So this year I'm trying to do a Tolkien deep dive. I've just finished reading a biography of his in December, and I read Fellowship of the Ring. I'm going to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I wanted to read a few of Tolkien's other works this year and try and get, a fuller picture of what Tolkien has contributed. And after reading his biography, I really wanted to read his short story of Tree and Leaf because it sounds very interesting. It's about an artist being overwhelmed by the scope of the artistic work he is trying to create, and that seems like quite a fitting metaphor for Tolkien's work on Middle Earth. So yeah, I saw it, I thought I've got to have this. So yeah, I bought that today, and oh my goodness, I have just seen I have no battery left on this camera, so I don't know how it's still recording. It might cut out on me on any moment. But also today I'm going to read, because today is the 6th of January, so it's the last day of Christmas. So I think I really need to read this, The Christmas Dinner by Washington Irving. I got this for Christmas. I want to read it now whilst we're still in the Christmas mode. And it's only a tiny little booklet. It's 30 pages long. In fact, I might sit here, make myself hot chocolate and do that now. I've just finished this, and this was so delightful. I've read so many short stories, ghost stories, haunting stories, serious stories, commentary stories. This was none of that. This was just a delightful picture of a Christmas dinner from long ago and a family celebration, and I really, really enjoyed that. I almost want to read you the last page, but I don't want to read you the last page because that gives too much away of the feeling and the warmth of this story. But this, what a delightful read to finish my Christmas celebrations with. That was just so lovely and charming. I'm over the moon now. That was perfect. If you ever get a chance to read The Christmas Dinner by Washington Irving, do. It will make you feel better about life, and I can't tell you any more than that because I don't want to give it away. Yeah, utterly charmed. I hope my next reading diary entry is as happy as this. I am going to finish this book today. Look how close I am to finishing it. It's Sunday, it's the 14th of January. I've just got home, we've had church this morning, and then we've gone out for a Sunday lunch with my family, and now we're back home. I've got immediately changed into my comfy clothes, which between you and me are actually Christmas pyjamas and my hoodie. And now I'm going to settle in with my book. Rob and Ola are playing a game, and I'm going to make a hot drink, and then I might settle into, let me show you, I'm going to get settled in this corner by the window and see if I can finish this book. Okay, I have finished Way of Kings. I'm still sat in my little window seat. I'll give you a little peek out the garden. This view is why I really like reading here, because I can glance out and I often see like birds in the trees and squirrels running about. It's a very good reading spot. Anyhow, more importantly, I have finished reading Way of Kings. There's some really amazing stories here, and I really enjoyed following in particular Caladan. I'm so bad with character names. But a guy who's really descended to like the bottom pits of life. He's been a runaway slave, he's been captured again, he's forced to do the most horrendous, dangerous job in this army, which is basically being human bait. And yet he just can't stop himself, not only trying to survive for himself, but surviving in order to help other people, and other people who are just as hopeless as he is. So he's a really good guy to root for. There's also a guy called Dalina, I think, who was like a general in this army, and everybody around him is scheming and playing political games, and he stands out because he's living by a code of honour that everybody else thinks is really outdated and think he is a bit pompous and self-righteous, but he is genuinely holding to this ancient code of honour and living with such integrity that I found quite inspiring to read. And there's some really dramatic scenes and things that pay off, and the ending's been really, really cool. I do want to read the next book. I also, the other thing with fantasy series is you have to accept that not all the mysteries are going to be tied up within one book. So I would say this book had a satisfying beginning, middle and end. There is an end in this, and there is some conclusions to some storylines, but there's also a lot open that's clearly going to continue into the next books. So yeah, I am going to want to continue reading this series, which I'm sure Rachel will be happy about. And also I think we'll do a more in-depth review, probably a spoiler-filled review of this soon on the channel, so keep your eye out for that. Anyway, finishing that means that I now get to choose my next read. I'm going to choose it from my TBR pile, and I guess I did say my resolution was to read more non-fiction this year, and that I'd try and make every third book a non-fiction. So I guess I should pick a non-fiction book to read. Okay, this is my TBR shelf. I only have 2 non-fiction books on here. So I have The Reformation and I have Tolkien Tree and Leaf. Except Tolkien Tree and Leaf isn't quite fully non-fiction because there's also some short stories in there. Which means I think for now, see, I'm going to have a week mostly at home. So I'm not going to be travelling around as much. So I am going to read The Reformation. I've knocked all the books over. Okay, I'm going to have a go reading this next, because I'm at home most of this week, so it's okay to read a big, not travel-friendly book. Yeah, I'm going to learn a bit of Christian history. That's my plan. And I'm going to neaten these books because that is unacceptable. My friends, it is Tuesday, the 16th of January, and it's snowing. Oh, the garden looks so pretty when it's snowing. What do you think, Comet? Buddy. I am working at the moment on a very fancy jigsaw. Here it is. 1,500 pieces. It's shiny, it's gold. It's like a world map in Latin. So all the words on here are in Latin, which I do not speak. And it has taken over my dining room table, so wait, I'll just show you. Here we go. All of that. I've had to get a magnifying glass to help me read the writing in places, because otherwise I don't think I've got much of a chance of finishing this jigsaw. Oh, especially when I get help from the cats. They're so helpful. Okay, and then the second thing I just wanted to quickly show you is that I've started reading this book. I like reading off the beaten track, and it's filled with pictures. So I think the bulk of this is going to be about the Reformation. But at the moment I've just read like the first 30 pages, and it's telling me a bit about history and like the political landscape and what life was like, particularly for the peasants during the time of the Reformation in Europe. So yeah, it's just cool. I'm reading about something that I am very ignorant about. I don't know a lot about this time in history. I don't know a lot about the Reformation really, and I'm excited to learn more. Hi, it's the 25th of January today. It's been a while since my last update. For reasons that do not need to go on the internet, it has been a stressful couple of weeks with stuff. And when I'm stressed, that sometimes has like a dual effect on my reading. One is that I struggle to settle down to read as frequently as I normally do, or don't have as much time, leisure time to read. But it also means that I often value reading even more to be able to focus on another time and place and another imaginary world or setting. I find very helpful at times of stress. So I'm in a weird thing where I have not read a lot this month, but when I have been reading, I've really benefited from my reading. And that's part of the joy of books, I think, is that I think they can be very soothing and they can be very grounding. And I think books are wonderful. So this is where I am up to with my reading. I finished the Reformation. Oh, my cat has just appeared. Let me just see if she'll be willing to come up here. She's currently nuzzling the tripod. Come here, puss. Come here. I know. You don't need to stroke that. Okay. This is the real life Luna. Oh, she's not going to stay. And also, I've picked her up and I'm cuddling her and I'm wearing a white jumper and I can feel that her paws are wet. Have you just been outside? Well, this is Luna. She's our lovely cat. We have another cat called Comet and they're brother and sister. And they are the best, snuggliest cats ever, but I can tell she's not enjoying being picked up right now. Have you got stuff to do? Places to be? Shall I let you go and get on with it? I'll put her down. There you go, she's off. Let's just do a jumper check. Yep. Nice muddy paw prints on the white jumper. Great. What was I saying about this? Yeah, so one thing I noted about this was during the time of the Reformation, lots of notable people stood up for what they believed was right, and they stood for their truth in the face of cultures and powers that did not believe the same things that they did. And the fight to express things that go against the power and authority, you know, that takes great courage and integrity. But also noted how often the people who did stand up against oppression and stood up to speak the truth often then tried to subdue and oppress other people who then tried to speak out a different truth. So that's both like, on one hand, like inspiring and then also scary. And yeah, it's very hard, I think, to be consistently tolerant, is what this book made me think about. And I've appreciated a book that's made me think and I found interesting, and I also really, really, really appreciated all the artwork in there. I really, really advocate for more pictures in adult books, because I think art and illustration are just wonderful mediums and complement the written word so well, and I don't get why only children get the good stuff. I want pictures, I want art, I want illustrations in my adult books. I keep saying it, I will keep saying it. So anyway, this is a long entry. I finished this. This was good. And then I thought, right, now it's time to go back and reread a book. And I was thinking about what book do I want to reread on my shelves. And I felt a little bit obliged because I want to start a series on the channel this year of going through the classics. Because if for nothing else, Classics with Cathy is a great title for a YouTube series, right? So my plan was to start by going back to some like the earliest classic works and working my way from ancient history all the way through up to modern times, and I don't know how long it'll take to do that or how many books I'll do, but I thought that the Odyssey would be a good book to start with, except I haven't read the Odyssey for a long time. I read the Iliad more recently, but between you and me, the Odyssey's a better book than the Iliad. It's more fun. And also, hypocrite that I am. So here's me saying I want to do a series about encouraging people to read the classics and really promoting them. But when I thought to myself, well, I ought to reread the Odyssey before I do a video on it, I was a bit like, it's hard work. I don't want a hard work book right now. I'm a bit stressed. I'm a bit tired. I prefer to read something easy. But I was like, no, go on. Read the Odyssey. Anyway, guys, I picked it up. I read the first chapter and I was like, oh yeah. Because you see, I'd forgotten how good the Odyssey is. I'd forgotten of just like how instantly we start with cool action stuff going on. And, you know, at this time where I've been a bit stressed and a bit run down and a bit like all over the place in my head, reading the first chapter of the Odyssey just felt like going on holiday. It just felt like completely stepping out of my life into a completely other world where stuff's happening straight away. We're in the adventure, we're in the story, the gods are making plans, there's stuff going on. It's so good, so readable and so enjoyable. I'm really glad I'm revisiting the Odyssey and I can't wait to do a full video on it. I'm also have one other book on the go, an audio book, and I've had this on the go since like November, and it's the Wind Up Bird Chronicles. It's quite a long audio book and I normally listen to it whilst I've been travelling, and I've not been travelling as much. But now that I'm back in lessons and commuting again to a university, I'll be getting through this. I think I'm in the last 4 hours now. I'd say if I didn't have such a strong impulse to finish things I've paid for, I probably would have given up on the Wind Up Bird Chronicles. The first half was really intriguing and the second half for me has dragged quite a bit. It's still very interesting, it's very well written. I feel like it's going to be one of these books that sets up lots of mysteries and conundrums and weirdness, and it has no intention of resolving them. Which partly might be why I'm not that motivated to finish it, because I think it's a book where you're just meant to embrace the weirdness and not question it too much. But you know, I've listened to it for so many hours now, I will finish it and we'll see how I get on with the ending of it. Good evening! All is also here in case you can't tell. It's about 7:30 and yes, I am already in my pyjamas. I feel like I've had a bit of a day today. It has absolutely chucked it down all day. The moment I stepped out of my car this morning, I stepped into a puddle. I've had wet feet all day, and then I was driving home and my windscreen wipers stopped working, which was very dangerous and horrible. Anyway, I managed to get the car home, and just when I thought that today's been hard and I'm tired, a parcel person came to our door, delivery person, and he had a parcel, and I said, "Oh Rob, is that parcel for me?" Because I thought it was some extra pieces of uniform for Orla. And he said, "Well, it is for you actually." He said, "I've got you a present." I was like, "A present? What have you got me?" And he passed me the parcels, and these were in the parcels. Oh, I don't have enough hands now to do this. Orla, do you want to be the camera woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I... Okay.
Yeah, just try and hold it and be still. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so these were the parcels, and they are the last 2 volumes of Fables, which is a graphic novel series that I've been reading for years now. Okay, can you tilt down a little bit, honey?
Fables.
There you go.
That's what I'm doing in my schoolwork. I'm learning about fables.
Are you learning about Fables in your schoolwork?
English.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, well these comics were kind of inspired by fables and fairy tales and folklore, and it's such a great series.
Learning is the tortoise and the hare.
Ah, yeah, that's a great one. I think the tortoise and the hare are in these series somewhere. I'm sure they are. Yeah, so these are the last 2 volumes, the last 2 I need for my collection, then I'll have the whole set.
Hello.
That's all as hand. So just when, you know, you have a hard day and you come home and your loved one has bought you books, comic books that you've really wanted for a long time, that's just made my day good.
Are both your books in shot there?
Oh no, what? They weren't both in shot. Now they are. So yeah, new books. Thought I'd share that. And then what I'm planning on doing this evening is I would like to finish reading the Odyssey.
Because you really want to go to the library.
Because I want to go to the library tomorrow. So I think I've got about 60 pages left. So yeah, plan is chill out, finish this book tonight.
Finish this book tonight.
Library tomorrow.
Library. Library. Library.
Thanks, kiddo. I didn't quite finish the Odyssey last night. I had 20 pages left to read when I fell asleep. I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. I was tired, so I fell asleep. I've read another chapter of it this morning before doing the school run. I've got 10 pages left, so I'm going to go to the library anyway. It's just open now, so I'm going to go. I'm going to pick out some books, which will probably be most of my February reading. The library was shut. It was meant to be open. Oh look, cat sees I'm doing something and wants to be involved. Hi, Comet. The library was shut. The library was shut. The library was meant to be open. I checked online. The times on the door said it was meant to be open, but all the lights were off and there was nobody there and the door was locked. So the library was shut, which is annoying. I'm sure there'll be a good reason why it was shut. I'm only frustrated because I really wanted to go. So I did the food shop instead, which was very sensible to do. I've come home. I'm gonna eat a bagel, have some breakfast, finish the Odyssey, and then I'm gonna see what other libraries are open and see if there's another one nearby that I can go to and go get books, because I really would like to get books today. There's also a lot of other useful stuff that I ought to be spending today on. But I really want to go get library books, and if I don't go today, I can't go tomorrow. I could maybe go on Thursday. But if I say I'm going to go on Thursday, what I'll do is today or tomorrow I will just start reading another book, and then I won't want to go to the library until I finish that new book. So I want to go to a library today. So, bagel, finish the Odyssey, go see if I can find another library to visit. It is the 31st of January. Yesterday, I did manage to find a library that was open, and I got some precious books. They are beautiful. I got 4 fiction, 2 non-fiction, but I'm not going to tell you any more about them because I have a feeling that this vlog is getting very, very long. So in February's reading diary, you can look forward to a library haul. In the meantime, I want to tell you that I finished the Odyssey yesterday, and it was brilliant and amazing, and I can't wait to do an in-depth review of that soon, so that the Classics with Cathy series will be starting soon, and I'm really excited about that. I have also finished today the Wind-Up Bird Chronicles, and it was a little pretentious for my taste. Now that I've gone through the whole story and the saga of it, it answered more questions than I thought it was going to attempt to do, but it's really not one I'd recommend. If you really like existential crises in books and philosophical questions and surrealism, you'll love it. If you don't like those things, you won't like that book. I think that's everything I have to say. that's the end of my reading journal. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I've really enjoyed filming these clips. I hope I can put them together into something coherent and good. But this has been a really fun way to track my reading throughout the month. I'm also really looking forward to seeing Rachel's reading journal. So my journal's coming out today and Rachel's is coming out tomorrow on Saturday, so keep your eyes peeled for that and you'll find out what Rachel's been reading. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do consider liking and subscribing because it really helps us out as a channel, and we'd love to grow our little book community on here and connect with more readers who love talking about books the way that we do. In February's reading journal you can expect to see the library haul that I've mentioned, and I'll also be setting up my physical paper reading diary for the year because I've yet to do that. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye! So I'm going to read the Odyssey. What are you going to do all whilst we hang out?
Attack you.
That wasn't the plan.
Attack you?
No, no. The plan was to come and chill out and hang out together.
The plan was to attack you.
Oh dear, I don't think this is going to end well.